Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to learn one of the most important concepts in programming: arrays, lists, and dictionaries. First, I will update our form a little bit. I will add a text box and list box and remove the code from the previous lesson. To make things more visual, I will also add a few buttons. I will rename all the buttons, so it will be easier to read the code. So what is an array? Array is a collection of variables, all of the same type, stored together under one name. Just imagine, you want to store the names of 100 students. You could create 100 separate variables, or you could create just one array that holds all 100 names. That's the power of arrays. In Visual Basic, declaring an array is super easy. Here is the syntax: dim, numbers, parentheses, inside the parentheses the number 4, and then as integer. This creates an array named numbers that can hold 5 elements. Arrays in Visual Basic are zero-based, which means the first element has index 0 and the last one has index 4. Let's add some values. I will write the code inside the button add data subroutine. So first element of the array, numbers of 0 equal 10, numbers of 1 equal 20, numbers of 2 equal 30, numbers of 3 equal 40, and numbers of 4 equal 50. Or we can write it shorter. We can add the values right away, right in the declaration line. But now let's use the first option. To display the second element, I will just write textbox1.text equal numbers, and inside the parentheses the index 1. This will show 20 because that's the value stored at index 1. If we want to delete an element from the array, that's not actually easy. We cannot directly delete a single element from an array, because once it's created, the array size is fixed. The only way to remove an element is to loop through the array, skip the unwanted element, and copy the rest into a new array. Since this is not a built-in feature, I won't add this code to delete one element button. For the button add one element, I will write redeem, preserve, numbers, and inside the parentheses 5. Then next line, numbers 5 equals 60. We cannot add elements directly, but redeem preserve lets us resize the array and keep the existing values. If we want to update the second element, we can simply write numbers parentheses 1 equal 45. We can easily update any element of the array this way. To show all data, we will use a loop. So I will write listbox1.items.clear. For I as integer equals 0, to numbers.count minus 1. Listbox1.items.add parentheses, numbers, parentheses again, and the variable I. Numbers.count gives us the total number of elements, 5 or 6, depending on whether we clicked add one element or not. We subtract 1 because the array index starts from 0. Let's run the program and check how everything works. First, I will click add data and then show all data. We can see that all the numbers are displayed correctly. Next, let's test show second element. The text field shows 20. Then I will click update second element and again show second element. Now it displays 45. Delete one element button is not active in this example. So let's click add one element and then show all data again. Now there is 6 numbers. That means everything works good. As you can see, arrays are useful, but they have limitations, mainly because of their fixed size. That's why in Visual Basic we have lists. So what is a list? List is very similar to array. It also stores multiple values of the same type. But the key difference is flexibility. You can add, remove or insert elements at any time. And you don't need to know in advance how many elements there will be. Lists are perfect when the number of items can change while the program is running. In Visual Basic you can create a list like this. Dim numbers, as new, list, parentheses, and inside the parentheses of integer. This creates an empty list that can store integers. I will use the same buttons to work with lists, so I will just remove the previous code. In the Add Data button, we can write numbers.add 10. The next line, numbers.add 20, numbers.add 30, numbers.add 40, and numbers.add 50. Each time we call .add, a new element is added. No need to worry about the size. To display the second element, we can type textbox1.text equal numbers and inside the parentheses the index 1. This will show 20 because lists also use zero-based indexing. If you want to update the elements of list, you can type numbers parentheses 1 equal 45. Lists allow you to update elements just like arrays. To remove an element, you can use numbers.remove 30 if you want to remove by value, or numbers.remove at and inside the parentheses 1 if you want to remove by index. For our button delete one element, we will use the second option. If we want to add an element, let's just write numbers.add 16. We don't need to use something else. Lists grow automatically. If we want to display all numbers from the list, listbox1.items.clear for each num as integer in numbers. Then I will press enter. Listbox1.items.add parentheses and the variable num. This displays all numbers in the list box. Let's run the program. So I click add data, then show all data. All the numbers appear in the list box. Then I click show second element and you can see 20 in the text box. Then I click update second element and show second element. Now it's 45. If I click delete one element, then show all data, one number disappears. Then I click add one element, then show all data again. The new number 60 appears in the end. As you can see, using lists is much easier and more flexible than arrays. That's why lists are one of the most popular data structures in programming. So now let's move on to dictionaries. What is a dictionary? Dictionary stores data as key value pairs. Instead of numeric indexes like 0, 1, 2, You can use unique keys such as names or IDs. This is perfect when you need to find information by name or key. For example, a list of countries and capitals, or students and their ages. To declare a dictionary, you need to write dim people as new dictionary, and inside the parentheses of string, comma, integer. This creates a dictionary where the key is a string and the value is an integer. If you want to add data, you can write people dot add parentheses, inside the parentheses Anna, comma, 25. Then next line people dot add parentheses John, comma, and age 30. And let's also add Maria this way, with age 22. If we want to display a value, we need to write text box 1 dot text equal people parentheses, and inside the parentheses the keyword. Let's write Maria. This will display the age 22. If we want to update a value, we can type people parentheses then quotes Anna equal 26. Now Anna's value is updated to 26. If we want to delete an element, we can write people dot remove, and inside the parentheses the keyword. Let's delete John. This deletes the pair with the key John. If we want to add an element, we need to write people parentheses, then inside the parentheses the keyword. Let's type David equal 28. If the key doesn't exist, a new pair will be added. If we want to display all data from the dictionary, we need to write listbox.items.clear for each p in people. Then enter listbox1.items.add, and inside the parentheses p.key, then the character and, quotes, space, minus, space, and again the character and, p.value. This displays all names and ages in the list box. Let's start the program again and check how it works. So I just click Add Data and then Show All Data. You can see all data from the dictionary. Then I click Update Second Element and Show Second Element and Show All Data. As you can see, the age updates. Then I click Delete One Element and Show All Data, so John disappears. Finally, I will click Add One Element and Show All Data, and you will see David appear in the list. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching the video to the end, and as a little reward, here are a few pictures of what a flying horse might look like. See you in the next episode.